Quiet evening setting up across mid-Missouri. Good night to maybe do a little bit of a fire pit. We're going to be watching those temperatures fall through the 70s. Good, gorgeous Friday evening setting up across most of mid-Missouri. Many of us are going to be dropping into the low to mid-60s. The rural locales, especially if you're north of the Interstate 70 corridor, have a better chance of maybe even getting into the upper 50s as we head into tomorrow morning. So a nice, cool, comfortable night, but we're going to start to see that humidity on the rise over the next couple of days. That will lead to warmer and warmer mornings. And not only that, it will likely lead to some warmer afternoons as well. Most of us got into the middle 80s, a few spots south of Interstate 70 to the upper 80s this afternoon. That's pretty much where we can expect to be for both Saturday and Sunday. And that warming trend will continue. We've kind of been talking about that ridge beginning to build back towards mid-Missouri. That will lead to those temperatures that reach the 90s again. And we'll also be talking about some humidity building back in, so likely seeing those feels-like temperatures into the mid to upper 90s for much of next week. Also going to be tracking the tropics, these two storm systems that are eventually going to be making their way into the Gulf of Mexico. Tropical storm Laura has formed, still waiting on Tropical Depression 14 to get the name Marco, but both of these systems, once they do get those names, and at least Laura has broken the record, once Marco gets named, both of them beating out the earliest L and M named Atlantic storm systems ever on record. And we could be talking about another record being broken. The National Hurricane Center is expecting both of these to be a Category 1 hurricane at some point in the Gulf of Mexico. We have never had that happen before, but we have had a tropical storm and hurricane. Those both happened on September 5th, 1933, and back in June of 1959. So it's certainly not out of the question, but it is very, very rare to see a setup like this. Certainly could be talking about some tropical history being made by the end of the weekend. Temperatures, as mentioned, the big story here in mid-Missouri, we're back into the lower 90s into much of next week.